Football Fix with Teddy and Chep and Mr. Sammy as we talk what's happening in the world of football. And Kings is asking, Yao Felix, is he highly overrated or he doesn't fit in a system most of the coaches? I'm unable to figure out his style at all and which club he can fit. That's a good question. I'm not sure what to make of Yao Felix. He had so much promise when he first started, but I think the price tag again was a bit over the top, and I'm not sure where he fits in what team.
Yes.
He looks like a... What is he? Is he an attacking midfielder? Is he a small forward? Is he a wide forward?
He looks more or less like Kai Havertz to some point, because you don't really know how he plays. You don't really know his position.
Yeah.
Because back in Benfica, he was really good, but when he came into Atletico, you kind of have to really think where he will fit.
And when you talk about young talents and probably getting onto the scene, they need a guy maybe who's an attacking coach. I've always had the feeling that he's a victim of being under Diego Simeone.
But here's the thing. One of the guys who thrived so much under Diego Simeone, he was an attacker.
Do you feel the same way right
now?
No,
hold on. Antoine Griezmann.
Yes.
Griezmann thrived under Diego Simeone.
Yes.
In fact, when they got him, Atletico, I thought that's what they were looking for, the next Griezmann. The next Antoine.
Yeah.
Because Antoine thrived, and yes, I know his system is defensive, but Antoine thrived all along. So I actually thought that he was that replacement.
Yeah.
But then even after that, even at Chelsea, okay, last season everyone at Chelsea was
yes.
I don't know, but I don't know. It's both of your points.
Its growth. Okay. It's not always good to have a guy who's so versatile that he can get into any position so easily.
So you don't specialize in one.
And that's why, one of the guys that I was really concerned about his growth was Bukayo Saka when he was playing as left back, and then he has to play as a winger. But just specializing on one position and you being great at it and having a guy who's going to help you grow in it, I think it helps a lot. So you just need to settle in a good place. And I like the way guys talking about Silva and Fabregas. Guys, by the way, I cannot fight the fact that David Silva could easily be the best ever Spaniard in the EPL. I just said, I get that. My preference. Just like I said here, once I said I'd pick Gerrard over PLO and guys killed me. Just my preference. I like blood and thunder defenders. Yeah, and midfielders. I like blood and thunder midfielders. I like guys who are going. Yes. I am not so sold into these cerebral guys. So I'm not so sold to Busquets. No, I want Vieira. He's in your face and he's big and he's
that big presence.
Yeah, I like that. I think a midfielder has to, that's my preference. But nothing against David Silva, brilliant player. You never saw him in a game. You just saw passes and movement and things. He was great. And even now he's still playing, isn't he? At a goodish level. I think at Real Sociedad or something like that. He's somewhere.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, and he was loved at City, so that adds into the conversation.
He was?
He was loved.
He was. Yes, he was.
That Fabregas was a snake. Now this is the opposite, man.
Yeah. Fabregas drew that pizza at Ferguson.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, Arsenal get their men, but when it comes to United, did they pay over there? So let's talk about Arsenal and the fact that number one, they've got Declan Rice, 105 million. They're still figuring out how to pay the money. They said they are fighting, but they have gotten him. They have agreed the fees, just how to pay.
Yeah.
Before I say what I think, I should let's start with Chep. What do you think? Goodbye? Does it improve them? Does it make them champions? What do you think?
I think maybe goodbye, but now the bit of improvement. That's where I'm not so sure. Because even me on Twitter I had a fight with somebody. Because personally I would have taken Caicedo. I just think, as you said, personally I also love midfielders who, strength, agility. Ugali iko hapo. I love Caicedo, and I would have taken Caicedo instead of Rice. I think Rice I've not seen him. Okay, I think it's the English tax again. I think he was overpriced. Most of the games I've watched of him, he has good games. You can see him. Other games he's not. He disappears. I think those we can call the big games or sorts. So I'm not really sure about the next level. The same thing with Havertz. I love players, as you said, who, if you're a team like Arsenal, you missed your number 2 in the league. What you need players who are players who are going to take it to the next step. You buy for specific positions. When you're going to the market, do we need a midfielder? Do we need a striker? What do we need? But when you buy a player for 60 million, when I ask Arsenal guys on Twitter, can you tell me which position does Havertz? Is he going to play for Arsenal as a number 9? Is he going to play in the midfield? Some are telling me, and I just 9, left wing, 10.
No, don't worry. We'll get to Havertz.
So,
I'm just on
yeah.
I'm on Rice. I'm on Basmati.
He's a good player.
Sorry.
Good player, but I don't think he's going to take them to the next level. I don't think so.
I'll come back. I'll respond after.
I totally disagree with Chep. I think this is in this window, I think this is their best signing so far. I think he'll take them to the next step, given that Uncle Tom is about to leave Arsenal, and given his experience in the EPL and him being there at West Ham for so long, I think he'll be able to, and him being able to try and work out with Arteta, I think it will be so good for Arsenal and him for himself as well, because he'll be able to grow himself and be able to push the team to the next level.
Sammy?
All right. Cameras on me, man. Okay, so I've listened to Hilda and Teddy, of course, but there's a fan there who's mentioned it being a very good moment for Arsenal. We need to give credit to Arsenal where it's due, because 2 weeks ago when Elijah was seated on that seat, he didn't want to engage in any bidding war with Manchester City. Yeah. And what you've seen right now with Arsenal is that they have gone toe-to-toe to popular belief, because there are some who believe that it's a cat and mouse game, but I believe it was serious, that Manchester City needed Declan Rice and they bid their own, and Arsenal had to step it up, and they bring up 105 million. It's a club record fee. It's a record fee for an English player in the Premier League, and that's the first thing that Arsenal should be happy about, that we are not in the era where we used to think about growing and developing players, that they can now get them at a young age who have the technical ability. So that's kudos to Arsenal, and it shows their intent this season. Now, the other bit is whether he's an upgrade to the side. Multiple times when you speak with you always tell me that the best ability is availability, right?
Yes, that's number one.
Yes, and this is a guy who's played 80% of the Premier League games since 2018. I think it's only one guy that has played more games than he has over that span, and that's James Tarkowski. So when you compare who is in that position at Arsenal right now, it's Thomas Partey. And how many times have you talked about Thomas Partey being...
Please score, but don't celebrate.
Yes.
Don't slide on your knees.
Yes.
Just score and walk to the halfway line.
Yes, yeah. And even when he goes to Ghana, people are watching the game to see what he does in the Ghanaian national team. So you've always made that statement. Okay, we don't know his real age, but we know that he's somewhat brittle.
Yeah.
So they are getting a guy who's going to be reliable, number one. And look at him at West Ham. He's a guy who knows how to marshal defenses. And he's going to sit in front of that back four, back three, whatever it's going to be. And that will be the next discussion probably on how Arsenal adapt to play with him. Because when you look at him at West Ham, they are not Arsenal. They are not the team that has a lot of possession and they are going to be on full attack. This is a guy who's been used to sitting back a bit and has got another guy alongside him in Thomas Suchek in it. So this one will be probably different. He could be alone, or maybe they could. Why I think that maybe they need to do another signing to supplement him could be Julian Timber coming to the team and being advanced into that role because he can do it. We talked about him being versatile and maybe has two guys ahead of him. And then as to the discussion of whether he's going to be a number 6 sitting or whether maybe, because you've seen him progressing with the ball, I think he's 25th, ranked 25th among ball progression players. Only guys ahead of him, Akina Salah and Martinelli, all of them are attacking guys. And he's the only guy who can progress the ball. Maybe he plays in as an 8. But when you look at it holistically and given how versatile he is, I think it's a good fit for him at Arsenal.
Well, number one, is he overpriced? Of course he was overpriced. There's English tax. Anyone who's English, the cost just goes up. Yes. So there's the English cost, which I think is something like 30 million. Like 30 million extra just comes because you're English. Yeah. And because you are now going to be the most marketable player since Jack Grealish. Yeah. So the most marketable player in England. No. Yeah. So there's that bit. So I did they pay over the top? They did. Now, I think City baited them. City have made a habit of doing this in the last few years. Yeah. City did it with them. City did it with United and Harry Maguire. Yeah. City did it with United with Alexis Sanchez. City did it with Chelsea and Kukurea. It's something City just seem to do. City, they come in hard. They say we are going to, but then they say we are not paying over the odds. So part of it, I guess, they are being smart about it. They are no longer paying over the odds because they feel now you want to come to City. So it's not like when they were getting Toure and David Silva, they had to convince you. Now they are the go-to place because City have simply refused to pay over the odds. For the most part, City haven't paid over the odds. Even Grealish, who they really pushed, they think they were the only ones who needed him. It's not like there was a fight. Liverpool. No. But I see they almost look they were determined to get. And when I think about it, it might have been as much as a marketing tool as it was for the football.
Yeah, it was.
Because now they have the most marketable British player. Didn't they say that the other day? That the most marketable English footballer is Jack Grealish. Oh, with the hair. Oh, with the blue eyes. Oh, with the what? Oh, since
The
Beckham.
curls.
They said that just the other day. And now that I think about it, I'm like, maybe that's why they were so keen on just getting the poster boy of English football. Because it's not like they were fighting with Liverpool and with... No.
True.
Yeah. So that they paid over the odds, but you can see the marketing side of it.
Okay.
But is Declan overpriced? Of course he's overpriced. I don't think a DM should go for 100 million. I disagreed when Chouameni went for 100 million euros. I disagree with it now. Now, I think he's better though than Casado. I think he's better than Casado.
Yes.
I think he plays better. I think he's more aware. I think Casado has a stereotypical side to it that makes us almost look at him that way because most players who play that role look like him. N'Golo Kante, Victor Wanyama, Claude Makelele, Patrick Vieira, Chouameni. It's almost like it's almost like but I think Rice is better.
Yeah.
I think Rice is better.
There for long.
Yeah, and just I think he's just a better footballer than Casado. I think he's a better footballer than Casado.
Yeah,
I think
Casado's
he's
still
better
raw as
that
well.
role as I think he's better. I think he can play a variety of positions.
Yes.
The question is, can he improve Arsenal? Of course he does, because I think purely as a DM, I would pick him over Partey.
Yes.
Just because, first of all, Partey will not be available, and Partey tends to disappear. Last season, in the crucial moments,
Yes,
Partey just
Yeah,
went missing for like the last 10 games.
Yeah, the
He's just
final
not
ones,
there.
Yes.
Does this signing take Arsenal? Is it a huge upgrade? Yes. It takes them. And also he can play in defense when they need. What I don't know is whether the addition of Timber, Rice, and Kai Havertz gets them over the line.
As a collective.
I don't know whether it does. I'm maybe not convinced it does, but I think it's a step in the right direction.
Yes.
I think they are getting closer. But does it get them completely over the line? I don't know. I'm not sure. I think City need to lose one more player, and then Arsenal have a real chance. City need to lose Bernardo Silva, because they've already lost Gundo. For it to be a level playing field, this cannot be level when he still has. He needs to be left with KDB and Calvin Phillips.
Bernardo back,
Enrico Luis.
It's more on what City don't do.
Eh?
It's more of what City don't do.
I
but
think so.
Arsenal
Yeah,
do.
but I think it's an improvement. I like Rice. I think he's all right. And I like Kai Havertz. I'm in the small group that really likes Kai Havertz from day one. Not even now, from day one. I like him. He's an old school player. He's a throwback to the 90s. He's when we had creative players who are languid, who don't look like they're trying too hard. And for everyone who keeps on asking, The Athletic wrote it, a few other people have said it, he plays in the Xhaka role-ish.
No, I would like to pick your brain on
You
that.
see, yes.
Where do you see Declan Rice playing?
He sits.
Alone?
I don't
Six.
think
How
they are
does
keeping
that midfield
Partey.
look like?
I don't think they are keeping Partey.
Uh-huh.
I think they are being left. I think they play the same 4-3-3-ish they play. So up front,
4-2-3-1. They play 4-2-3-1.
yeah, that 4-2-3-1. So in the middle, you would. But then now if you play 4-2-3-1, you've got to change it.
That will be kind
Yes,
of tricky.
Because
Yes.
who plays next to Rice?
Yes.
Because you can't put Odegaard.
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
Odegaard further up.
Yeah.
So
Can't
up you have got Odegaard behind Jesus, and you got to the left you've got Kai
Martinelli.
Havertz, but then you also have it's complicated. I think you change the whole formation.
That's why I still don't get.
I think
the
you go to
signing.
I think you go to
Havertz.
4-3-3.
Yeah, 'cause they
I think you go to 4-3-3. When you are 4-3-3, Rice sits.
Yeah, okay.
Odegaard plays one way. Kai Havertz
Havertz
plays
on
the
the
other way. So you call it diamond.
Yes.
Don't know what to call it. Yeah,
No,
that
it's
one.
a triangle.
A triangle, sorry.
Yes.
And then you have Mr. Saka on the right,
Yes,
Mr. Martinelli on the left, and Gabriel Jesus in the middle.
Yes. Okay. Looking at how they played, I know you pushed back on it being a consistent feature that Alexander Zinchenko moves into the middle. Maybe if they get Jury and Timber, then that means they remain with a flat 3 at the back in an attacking sense.
So who's the flat? The three are who? Gabriel, Saliba.
Yes, and Zinchenko.
But Zinchenko
Zinchenko
can't defend,
can't.
guys.
Yeah.
Let's. The truth of the matter is this:
Can't.
of all his positions, the one thing Zinchenko cannot do is defend. Zinchenko only plays left back because he's left-footed. He's a bit like the way Kai Havertz plays as a striker just because he's a big guy. Zinchenko has done many things at City.
Okay.
He played left back because City can't seem to get a left back.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's why he joins in midfield, because he's a lot more comfortable in midfield. I think defending, pure on defense, Tierney is a better defender.
Yeah.
Okay.
True.
So if you get Timber, and here's the thing, in all this commotion, where is Ben White? Because Ben White is a 50 million
Yes,
pound
yes,
defender,
yes.
and he's got to play. So if you go into your back three the way you are saying,
Yes.
I'd see now Ben White
Advancing.
No,
no,
or-
dropping back. Okay.
dropping back into
Yeah.
the back three of White, Saliba, and Gabriel.
Yes.
And then now I don't know how whether your Timber
Picking
is
one, yes.
can do that John Stones
Hybrid
thing.
kind of
I
thing.
don't know. I don't know. I
Okay,
don't. But it's a good, even just for depth.
It's
Yes,
a good.
it
It's a
is.
good problem to have.
Yes, it is. But
Yeah.
then these are the two big signings that Arsenal have gone on. And,
Yes.
and all of them, Kai Havertz and Declan Rice, are all versatile players. So you'd actually argue that there are some question marks in how Arteta is going to figure it out. Because I was actually sold on Kai Havertz playing on the left side of midfield. But then when you try and think about some of the things that Declan Rice needs to do to improve and how Arsenal plays, I think there's still some question marks on Declan Rice on directness, on the passes he plays. Because when you look at his heat map, and this is the time you're going to appreciate stats by the way
No,
on this show.
no, I don't have to. I don't have to. You know why I don't have to?
Uh-huh.
He's replacing Partey. So I still don't want him to, the progression of them, I just need him to guard my back four.
But it's different.
No. But he can sit. He can sit and do the
Okay,
job.
Now this is a national team that is more attacking than
Yes!
West Ham. It's not
But
West
you also
Ham.
have to defend.
Yes, yes.
It's not a one-man show.
Yes, he
He's
will.
going to lead the press.
No, he's not. He's not going to lead the press. The
Okay,
press
he's
is
going to
will
be up.
exactly. But
Yes.
that's okay. They're all pressing as a team. We look.
It will need him becoming a more
Sammy,
brilliant passer.
you have to understand.
But look, they are close to each other. We don't want him to turn into a Cesc Fabregas. Don't want him to start taking those.
And
No. All you need, first of all, is a number one, availability. Number two, solidity. And then get the ball, give it to the people who know what to do with the ball. Please give it to Odegaard. Please give it to Kai Havertz. Please give it to just make sure you get it and you give it to them. And I also think if Partey were to stay and they played Partey and Rice,
Yes.
they would be
Yes, that would
they
be
would be a bad combo.
Yes.
Because I think Partey is actually better when he's more progressing. When he doesn't have to sit and defend everything. Yeah, I think he's better.
Yeah, that's the same
I
thing.
think
with-
he's better.
with West Ham,
So
yeah.
Rice would sit and say, you do your thing.
Yes.
It's okay, you do.
Yes.
And now Partey doesn't have to tackle everyone every time.
Yeah.
So his knees are safe.
Yes.
His ankles are safe.
Yes,
Maybe
it's
he's
what the
safe.
cure. Yeah.
And he can shoot outside the box as well.
Yeah, that's actually
Yeah.
the same plan with what Thomas Tuchel used to do, because Declan Rice would
sit.
easily take back the sitting role and then
let
leave Thomas
Soucek go.
Tuchel to roam
I like
around.
Soucek.
Yes. So, I have those question marks around. I've been studying a lot on the passes he makes in every game, but it's fine. If he doesn't need to make the
I don't
inward
think he-
passes to
I-
Odegaard at the top of the
No.
triangle.
Odegaard will look. Arsenal as a team are very mobile.
Yes.
I don't think Arsenal need anything going forward from last season. I think they were fine. I think Arsenal were more than fine last season going forward. Arsenal's problems were when you have got to sit back and soak in the pressure, sit back and grind out games, sit back and see off games that are sticky and that are, games that are not just flowing the way they
Yes,
should.
yes.
I think that was their problem. But going forward, Arsenal are brilliant. I don't think they need to add anything going forward. In fact, even Jesus can stay as Jesus is fine. They just need, because they scored the goals.
Yes.
The only problem was in the sticky games where you need to grind out a 1-0 and you need to backs against the wall defending for 90 minutes. They struggled with it. And also where you needed more experience and more know-how.
Yeah.
That's why I keep asking, does Declan Rice and Timber and Havertz have that know-how they need? The same way Liverpool needed something over the line.
Yes.
They got Van Dijk,
Dijk, and
but then he also stepped up.
Yes.
He stepped up.
Yes.
And then they got Alisson, who had only been, I think, a year in Europe.
Yeah.
But then he also
He
stepped
stepped
up.
up,
So
yeah.
can these guys they're getting now step up with them and take them to the next stage? I think that's the
That's
question.
the question. Yeah.
Okay.
Agree.
But I think it's beautiful business.
Yes, it is.
They've done well. Brant J says, I like the way you're having problems figuring out our formation and squad. That's what we've been crying for, depth. Formation won't change 4-3-3 on paper, but 2-3-5 or 3-2-5 in attack. Depth cost us the title. We learnt our lesson. Augustine says, I think Havertz is overrated. A player who people can't tell his position despite watching him play shouldn't cost that much. If he's that good, why can't we clearly identify his strength? Arsenal are signing to maintain top 4, not to win the EPL. I kind of sort of disagree with you. Havertz was thrown around because Chelsea just couldn't find a striker.
Yeah.
Havertz was never a striker. You watch the Bundesliga more than I do.
Yes.
Havertz
I
was
was
always
sold
an
on him.
attacking
He was
midfielder.
yes.
But because Lukaku or Timo Werner or
Aubameyang.
whatever the name, Aubameyang, none of them could play as a striker. And he's the one guy who's
Thomas Tuchel.
who's
Threw
able
him
to
in.
sacrifice, and
Yeah.
he's able to sacrifice himself, and he's adaptable enough, like he's smart enough to try it,
Yeah.
not to a great level. I think that's why he kept being thrown around. Tim says, Hilda, please talk about F1. There's really nothing to talk about F1 because F1 is
it's
a
a-
procession to
It's a Max Verstappen show. It's
Yeah.
done. Yeah.
I think so. But
Yeah,
at the end
there
of the
was- there
show,
was a tragic event that happened in motorsport, I guess.
The-
yesterday.
the F2
there was a
guy.
kid.
F2.
Yeah.
yeah, but he's why he wants F1.
Okay.
I guarantee you, Kenyans don't care about
I
F2.
stopped watching, by the way. I stopped watching Formula 1.
No, you should watch Formula 1.
Why?
It's
Why
good for
do
you.
you stop?
Cyrus
I
says
mean, to get to
learn
Trossard's
more
career
about
is
it.
over. And then Don Kiru says, for the first time in years, Arsenal are moving serious in the transfer window, but we have to factor in our Partey and Xhaka are leaving, and they were very key in their success last season. So the only upgrade would be Rice, in my opinion. In the long run, Chelsea are doing really well in the outgoings. I'll talk about Chelsea, in fact, in the next hour. Then Declan Rice is England's first teamer, young and versatile. He's overpriced, but not overrated. Declan was chased by Bayern, Chelsea, United, and the Arsenal. That's Bonike Ocheng saying, you know what? Yes, it's been a great move. When we come back, we shall go to United before we get to Chelsea.